revolutions per minute. The efficiency of the big reel to the spindle where you get the yarn off the cotton. And what is that used to actually create a friction? The small piece of coil. That's it. So you look at a bullock cart. It's an all-weather vehicle. Doesn't matter whatever it is. It just goes. And the greatest of Indian education has been we killed both of them. We don't use shortcut, neither do we use bullock carts. We brought in technology, so-called technology with tractors, whatever. So anyway, all this big, making a short story long, needless to say, what we are attempting now is we started Gramina Incubation Center. How do you promote entrepreneurship amongst women, especially over 35? Because there are a lot of industries coming in and around Vizag that are in Vizag and Vizianagaram, Srikakulam. So women over 35 are just left in the lurch. They're not the enterprises are few and far between. And for younger generation also, we started Grameen Incubation and be one of the centers of excellence with the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. We're the only ones in India that is based out of rural area. So in the process, when we were looking at what next should we do, how do we build? Now our attempt is to build an ecosystem where we have rural startups for rural India. Because startups are now based primarily in urban areas. We are certainly looking at problems at a village level. But can we look at generating people at the village level to start looking at enterprises, use of technology? Because from job seekers, we need to make them into job givers and also reduce the pressure on urbanization. So in the process, I was talking to Ravi, chanced upon Ravi AU Incubation, and then said, why don't we look at having a forum in Vishakhapatnam together where people can start pitching in, people can pitching their ideas, and we can start to look at mentoring. We can start to look at bringing more number of speakers across, given the whole network of people that we know, AU. So all, at that point of time, I just knew Ravi. And now Alok has come, Professor Satmurthy is here. So one by one, we are just adding an element after an element after an element. And now, what next? One thing I was just mentioning is that we've been able to achieve constancy. First Saturday and third Saturday, we're able to just got together and say, I'm going to get something out of this. None of us, we just want to build an ecosystem and think from Gramina incubation. What are we looking at? Urban areas, you have resources like market is here. You have funds, and you need some place to actually do the background work. Given that we are in the rural areas, given that we have resources, we know access to human capital, women. Is there any which ways can we do, the background work at those villages, whatever it takes to organize, do the training, let's look for trainings and give training so that once we can have some production at the village level, the marketings can happen, access to resources can happen, access to technology can happen from urban areas. So this is the synergies that we were looking for. We are looking for, and so very glad that we started to build. We're starting to have some people start to pitch. We are also trying to connect within some of our networks here. And then I sincerely request you, or just requesting. Sorry, I didn't get your name, Camila. That all the youngsters who are coming in talking, add to the main group. Let's not create different groups so that whatever is happening, everybody is in know of things. You know, there is a book called hi, 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 book called On Dialogue by David Bohm. He's a physicist, but he says you just come, sit, talk, and go. I say the apple is green, and you say, the Vijay Deverakonda movie is very good. You say what you want, I say what I want. But the constancy are whatever we keep talking all the time. Few months later, when I say a word or say a sentence, the people in the group would absolutely have an understanding as to where I'm coming from. Maybe it could be as disjointed as our discussions have been. So the familiarity just kind of subliminal learning happens. So this is what we are attempting here. That come join us, join the group, let us grow. The startup Saturday that started in Bangalore almost 17, 18 years ago. That is, it took so much of time for Bangalore to come up to this level. It's not easy building an ecosystem. It's not easy to get the word across, but it's a concerted effort. A and two, the perseverance of the idea that we need to have a forum to talk is what actually gets to the next level. On that note, supposed to be a short introduction about myself, but as we are adding new people, I thought this is a good idea for us to talk about why we are here today. And so, thank you. And look forward. We are in the group, so you will be added. Do let your other friends know across various colleges and engineering colleges who also are looking at innovation. Because from Grameen Incubation, we have some little fund to uh, fund startups. We have 4 startups a year, and this year we have exhausted one recently. So I have three startups. Both about 2 for 8 lakh and one for 4 lakh. So if you guys, we see good ideas coming through that we, and then also given that we're part of the Startup India network, Mighty Startup Network. So pushing you into that orbit or connecting you to some other orbits is easier for us. Use a network. Let us grow. Let us put Vizag into the startup map. And then let me tell you about, from Mighty, it's called Mighty, Information Technology Ministry. There are two centers of excellence in Vizag, only city. One is IIM Vizag. APIS used to be there. It used to be three. Now that APIS has been moved out, so Grameen Incubation and IIM Vizag together, we are two centers. And so we can definitely use a network. We are also trying to see how do we get in more a social perspective. How do you get a rural perspective? So that is happening. Once we have a little critical mass coming in, I'll also start to bring in more number of speakers. Good speakers. It's not that people are coming are bad, but I'm saying people who have more wider network, who've been have got some amount of credibility of running various initiatives. Definitely, we would like to bring them and then give them quite deals. So let us build it up. So this I'd like to appeal to all the youngsters here that do let your people, your friends know. Anybody who's got some inclination of can we do some bit of innovation? The idea gets churned out. More you talk about the idea, more you meet more number of people. Build your network. When they say about social capital, most businesses, your first attempts is to your people whom you know, your first customers or your first contact or first move comes. So let's be part of our social capital. Let us be your social capital, and let you also be our social capital. Okay. So on this note, so thank you, and I look forward to many more years of interaction with all of you. Thanks. ఎవరు కనబడదు నాకు గట్టిగా కనబడ్డది.
No, not.
We are training it, so we need. Oh.
Yeah, my name is Satyamurthy. I'm a professor working right now in the Andhra University School of International Business. But I worked for long years abroad. Particularly, I was associated with quite a number of women entrepreneurship programs. One significant one was about women certification program organized by Goldman Sachs. I think I worked with women in Nigeria, Rwanda, and several other countries. I have a real great passion about encouraging entrepreneurs, and of course, more women entrepreneurs. I think just now that I was trying to talk to Ram and Alok that how we can organize a kind of a forum wherein that we can bring in uh, women entrepreneurs and probably how we can encourage them. For sure that we're going to make it a reality, like obvious that Ravi Ishwar who is busy with some of this one. So I also have, started working for the institution that as being a member of the, institution's initiative council. And right now that I'm working for the, ambassador right now. So there are a couple of initiatives that have been floated, right? I'm trying to invite many of my other executive students, many of them are commanders, lieutenant commanders, in some of our programs, supply chain program. And so, apart from that, we are encouraging many of our BBA plus MBA integrated program students to also come up with the idea. So right now that we have already three or four of them who have come up with good ideas, and I think today I invited one person that who got the national awards as an eco-friendly guy, and so we are also now using this platform to allow them to give a kind of a pitching asset. So there is a lot of activity going on, and maybe that in the initial stage right now at our school, and of course at different departments. And we are also waiting for the other. Ravi told me that they are starting the student startup in the Department of Commerce Management Studies, where I worked for long years before I left India. And so there is plenty. I'm trying to work with friends like Ram, Ravish Karpur, and Alok, and many others, and hope that we're going to do many more things in the years to come. Thank you. Hello.
So we'll start with the startup pitching and then so you can talk. Sir, who is the main speaker? Keep this. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ani, and I'm founder of Talent Spotify, and he's Prashant, and he's co-founder of Talent Spotify. So before going into that, I think most of you already see the pitch of this, but whom already new people, I'm just telling this point. What is that we are doing on this one? As you are students, so you might be just looking into your marks generally. That's where actually your motivation compared to your peers, right? That's how it will work. So there should be some motivation. End of the day, if you are just coming up in the top, then there will be some sort of certification, some sort of cash reward, something will be given to you, which is promoted to the next semester or maybe next year, right? So similarly, whenever you are working as an employee, okay, similarly they are also working. They should not work in the same salary. They should not work on the same kind of a job what they are doing. And over the period of time, what will happen? It is a kind of a daily routine, right? What they are doing on this one, it is a kind of there is no motivation to go for a next level on this, right? So there should be some goals should be there. Everybody, okay, how to achieve that goal at this point, okay. And most of the things when we are just looking into that, the biggest thing what we observe out of the companies, most of the employees are leaving from the companies just because of managers. It's not about the good company or bad company. There is no good company or bad company. There is a good manager and bad manager. That's it. As a simple. If the company is a so great company, but if your manager is bad manager, then there is no point for you. Like you don't have a growth, then there is no point. Even the company is good, right? So as a career perspective, as an employee perspective, right? So that's the crucial part where we have identified once the people have started leaving from the company. According to Deloitte, it is approximately it takes $4,000 in US for hiring a non-executive person. Whereas in India, it takes approximately 25,500 rupees to hire or direct or indirect replacement of the person, including recruitment, onboarding, and as well as their initial learning curve. It is not about the hiring a person, it is not going to be serve the purpose, right? You have to bring them on board and you have to make them to be learn so far to bring them on board to whomever the resource, whomever it is leaving, right? It is going to take some time and that time is calculated in money. Then if you can calculate all these things, it is a huge loss if the person, whomever it is, you are just throwing out from your organization or leaving out by voluntarily, it is a big challenge. And the most important thing after the pandemic, what we have seen is something called as a hybrid working model. It is what actually, that's what actually now it started. What is hybrid working model? People are working from remote, some people are working from office. It is kind of a vice versa, it is happening. There is something called as a proximity bias. This is what actually recently started. What is this is about? People whomever it is working from office, that is physically whomever it is working through closely to the managers, they are getting bit managers are bit biased. People whomever it is working closely in a physically, people whomever it is working remotely, even though they are working more productive, it's not visible their efforts. This is the problem is started coming up. And on because of this problem, there is something called as a quiet quitting is started. I thought like you, most of you heard about it. This is the new word you are hearing about it. Quiet quitting. What does that mean? Means people will never say that one, like, I have a problem over here. They will simply put the papers and they will leave out. That's it. And you don't know what is the damage it's going to be happen by the time you realize it's a damage is already happened. Right? So this is a core problem. What is happened? I thought, um, let me just tell you, last week, I guess, there is a quarterly results came up from TCS and Infosys and Wipro. If you can see that the attrition rate is drastically gone out and that impacted their share price has been come down. One of the reason. This is the one of the major. Currently, it was happened last time is 22% in a month, which is a top notch higher. And that's one. What is so not supposed to touch on 18%, 17% is the rate, but 14 is the healthy. Ideally, it is coming up around 17 to 18, and the last quarter it was touched 22% on that one. Just because there are two reasons, and one is the thing moonlighting. People are just started up opposing the moonlighting jobs. Now that's what actually is happening right now. People are doing two jobs on this one, and some companies are not encouraging, and some companies are encouraging now. So people should be realizing that there is a trend is changing on this one going forward. It's not like you cannot think like as a traditional mindset that people are going to stick to the one company. If you have a skill, people are trying to sell that skill, sell the talent on this one, and demand is more, talent is less. That's what actually is happening. That's the reason this moonlighting is started. And I guess Tech Mahindra is Mr. Anand Mahindra is already openly said we are happy to encourage the moonlighting jobs, whereas Infosys, Wipro, they are opposing that one the other way. Okay, so the trends are changing. All this because of talent, where people have to retain on this one. So these are the main key areas where we have picked up the ideas on this one. So why we picked up on these areas? Because I came from that same background, which I have worked since last 20 years onwards on the complete the HR tech domain, especially in terms of a performance reviews and the linking to the career development, talent management, IT, and as well as the business side. I have worked in some companies. Hope you are aware of Emirates Airlines. I'm just naming few of that. Emirates Airlines, MR Properties, Group MR Properties, and AT&T. You would have seen that one. And this one. These are the companies where I have worked. I'm just naming few of that. So when we just looked into that, I ran the process with that literally with all kind of a verticals. It includes aviation, retail, and real estate, all these people. And we have seen each person's company's vertical employees mindset is different. The evolution mindset is different, and managers' evolution mindset is different. So it is not the same. You should not evaluate the same person, whomever it is working in real estate, should not be treated the same way. Evaluate. You should not do that in hospitality industry, because hospitality industry is more customer facing people on this one. For example, if a waiter is unhappy, that impacts, that frustration is of waiter impacts your guest service, and eventually that causes a bad rating in booking.com, or it may be any of the hotel reviews, right? And over the period of time that impacts your brand image. That is how it is going to be turned out on this one. For example, most of you are not aware of that one, how the aviation industry works. If any pilot salary is not incremented properly, what he will do? He will just go around that one with the flight with full of fuel. Unless it is not being closed, the fuel is completed, he will not land. He will say that one, I don't have a visibility. Nobody cannot question him on that one. So those kind of things in a detail level, deep level, if you go into the digger level, you can see that one, that is the impact is translated into the money is an indirect impact. So that's the reason I always say that one, keep the employees to be happy and as well as motivated on that one. Okay. So that's the area where we have taken out as a bias of evaluation of performance and the lack of recognition and motivation. And of course, organizations are suffering with higher attrition rates, poor user experience. Yes, there are a lot of systems are available. Yes, it is not that we are not the one who is coming up with the bloom out of the moon. We are not coming on this one. There are a lot of systems are available. For example, especially with my experience, most of you are aware of that hospitality industry works in a different way. I'm just giving an example, especially hospitality, because people are aware of that one, how it is being connected. Hotels, there will be a brand name will be there. There are two people will be there, operators and owners. Operator is nothing but of where the person whomever it is running a brand name. Owner is the people whomever it is owning the property. Let's take an example. Novotel is an operator. Owner is somebody who is owning the property of the building, right? When it is coming into that, owner is looking always for the profit and loss. Okay, he don't want to spend any money in terms of extra money, cautious about it. Okay, when operator is rolling out his software, whatever it is his software, he wants to mimic the same software to the new property owner. He will say that I don't want to spend this much of money, and you just come up with the local software, whatever it is there, you just pay it to me, that's enough. Because that's where actually the problems will be started, and they have to compromise with the local vendor, whomever it is coming up cheaper version on this one, and they will come up and the company will shut down after 2 days. That's what actually it happens. So that's the reason we have written as a poor user experience and proximity bias. So out of these problems, what we have done, we just come up with that one simple product which is called as a Talent Spotify as a platform. What it does, Talent Spotify is a B2B SaaS platform. It helps the companies to achieve their employees' results by asking questions based on their current performance, and it evaluates based on their responses. At the same time, rewards and recognitions will be given based on their scientific analysis of their achievements. At the same time, it works in a simple way. Employee sets a goals. Like every year, starting of the year, I will say that one. Employee says that one, okay, I will achieve. Let's take an example as a programming perspective. I will develop maybe a 5 apps this year. That's what actually he just put it as a target by himself. And manager reviews the progress. Yes, he approves that, like, okay, he developed a 5 apps, then it's fine. He is happy with that and he approves that one. Then he will get rewards based on that one. If you develop one app, then you will get some sort of rewards, and that rewards can be redeemed through monetary, like as a Book My Show tickets, or could be a Netflix vouchers, or anything can be redeemed, or it can be redeemed through non-monetary rewards like leave credits, flexible working hours, whatever it is. It's in a coffee with CEO. Whatever it is your wish, you can do that one in a both ways. That's the flexibility what we have given. So it is a combination of data science and behavior science. That's what actually we are bringing together into one platform. So it will ask simple one question like, how is your performance on this one? Maybe a manager is a subjective mindset. He will say that he is good, bad, whatever the subjective mindset, he will be saying that. The next question will ask whether the employee is delivering his work on time or late. So if he says late or on time, then the next question will appear how many bugs in his work, whether it's a more bugs, less bugs, whatever it is on this one. So our system will analyze the patterns of the response what manager is giving. At the same time, the responses what peers are giving, and compares the both responses, and it will see that one there is something anomaly is detected by the manager's response and peer's response. Then it will highlight the case to HR, saying that HR, you need to work it out here with the manager as a counsel, because there is a difference gap is coming up on this one. So it will highlight the cases where it before reaches the result to the employee, it goes to be back to the manager and it being corrected, and it will be treated properly as a transparent evaluation. That's the whole objective of that. Now coming to that, where is the behavior science is coming into picture? So what we have done, see most of the cases, whatever the setting and objectives, setting the rewards and recognition, whatever it is, redemption, you can see many platforms on this one. Out of there, even I have seen around 200 plus platforms is having the same thing. What is we are special on this one, which is combination of data science plus behavior science, what we are coming, that's the special what we are into that. How we are special? Let's take an example. There is a chatbot of ours. It will be asking a questions to the employees as a simple questions. What is the one thing you would like to change from your manager? Okay. So employee has to type the answer, whatever the answer he has there, he has to type the answer. That answer, we will send it to our data science model, and our model tells that the sentence, whatever the response is given, whether it's a positive or it's a more positive, whether it's a negative or it's a neutral, that is a sentence. It will give me the predicted the value. What is that outcome is going to give it to me. The same question will be asked to peers, and same question will be asked to the manager. Now we will see the patterns. What is the response is coming up on this one from the various people. Then analysis of the patterns and summarizes that one. This is what the result is that. That's how we are using the proper machine learning use case. What we are using is here as the ML part here. Okay. Now, where is the behavior science is coming into that? This is the open questions. Yes, it is fine. There are competencies to be evaluated, like how is the employee's communication? Okay, whether he exhibits his communication all times or no times, sometimes or whatever it is. That close-ended competency questions we will be asking through the chatbot, and we will analyze the answers. Currently, employees rated as 3. Let's take an example, 2 or 3 out of 5 scale. In next review, which is coming up in next quarter, how can he improve to 2 becomes 3 or 3 becomes 4? If he is already 5, then how can he sustain 5? Our behavior science, where we will say that one, this is the coaching part and this is the behavior science model what you are supposed to be used to continue the same thing to improve your results. That's where actually our core USP on this one. So we have prepared our questionnaire about the competencies across the industries, and we have prepared so far 50 plus competencies. We have prepared our question bank, which we are refining on that. And that's the reason we are the first one into the market in terms of objective approach of ML and DL, and which we have already showed up in one of our Tech HR conference, the first Tech HR, as a pre-launch kind of a thing where we have shown up on this one. I don't know how many of you know Darwin Box. Most of you know that Darwin Box is one of the first unicorn in HR tech, and Darwin Box would like to have as a top layer of ours as their on top of their HRMS platform. That's what actually they're looking into that one. Once our product is ready, and they would like to see that one. And at the same time, we are going to make ourselves not to compete with the HRMS products or typical Oracle, SAP, SuccessFactors. We are going to be a complementary layer. So we will be always on top of their cloud. We will be there one layer, which is going to be a talent piece of layer. We are going to be adding as a plug on to the enterprise solutions. For smaller companies, we will be using as an entire talent suite. That's what actually our target approach on this one, how we are going to do that. Second thing, when we are doing as a goals, we are digging into that level into the tasks to be created. So yesterday we have demonstrated to one of the non-profit organization, and they were about to go live by next month. What they said, they are currently using Asana as their platform, where they are just using their projects and all, they are maintaining their tasks. By seeing this one, what they said, we will drop our Asana licenses and we want to migrate it here because we can measure performance along with the tasks and projects. For their small company, they can use both. So now we come up with a new angle where we can be a replacement of the product management tools like Asana and Jira, where for the small and medium companies, why do they need to spend much more licenses over there? So we are going to be a replacement for them in terms of Asana or Jira. This is going to be a come up with that for a small and medium companies. Of course, larger companies, enterprises, they will use it. That's continuously on this point. So that's the main objective. That's where actually our competitive advantage. And this is our team. We both are here. And apart from that, we have mix of data scientists and as well as our React.js developers, full stack developers, and as well as, of course, here one behavior scientist also there. So all these people are the team, and we thankfully we must have to say thanks to Mr. Ravi Garu because he has provided us incubation center for a week for us. For the entire team was here last week, and we worked hard, and then we put it into UAT for our first customer. So we are going live by next 2 weeks on this one. So that's what actually our team. And this is what actually currently we are at the pre-revenue stage. As currently we are working with these two, as these two are the customers, we are starting at the pre-launch stage itself. So once we are just going to be launched, these are the customers which are ready for that. And currently we were working with the both are in a free model, freemium model, and for 3 months we are working with them. And whereas the remaining customers, hopefully they will be paid customers on this one. They are waiting. I am Shillong. Yeah. So they are the one actually they would like to launch in the month. Gulf Capital is from UAE, and Ecom Express is from Delhi, and 3DM is from Hyderabad-based digital marketing agency. Below is the Ola is a Chicago-based non-profit organization, which is a Chicago-based non-profit organization. Ola, Ola. So it is about the human rights organization. They are talking about the African human rights organization. Very small company. It is all about 15 employees and 40 volunteers. So they want to track their volunteers' progress through our platform. That's what actually they want to see that. Like, for example, their social media, Instagram followers is 20,000. Now they want to increase to 20,000 to 50,000. They want to track it through our program. So how they can track it? No, we will be just, they will be tracking the entire thing as in our platform, like how to improve in this one, what are the steps they are taking, what is the progress they are doing, how many posts they are putting, every information they will be tracking over here. That's what they are doing. Another one is AppStreams, which is our company only. So there we are just going to experimenting another consulting company on this one. We are trying on our the same thing platform to first we have to try it ourselves on this one, whether it is really working or not on this. So that's the reason we are working on it. And of course, we are just going directly with the known customers because with our networks itself, it's coming approximately 20 plus customers, which is coming up on that. So we will be going with that only for the first 20 customers without any marketing or anything on this one. These 20 customers, out of that, if they can turn into 10 customers, then that's more than enough. And out of that, if it is a 3 or 4 customers paid, that's more than enough for us. So after that, we will be going for that partner-based selling, which is already ready with that. We are already in discussion with the Darwin Box, and we are already in discussion with ARC Consulting in Dubai based. So which is having a management consulting. Generally, what will happen is most of the companies will offering a management consulting. They will be looking, okay, can you just do a process re-engineering on this one? While doing a process re-engineering, they will ask what are the tools that can be suggest your process. So they will be suggesting our tools on this one. That's how we are just going to be tied up with them. And of course, we are targeting only for the initial ones. These are the only industries what we are targeting. So We don't need to teach them what is objectives and key results and all these things, because these industries are already matured enough. So they know that one, what is OKRs and everything. Especially startups nowadays, they know what is OKRs and they have to keep it their OKRs also. So that's the reason. And it's also subscription based model. So we are just offering in three models: basic, pro, and enterprise model. So we are just keeping it as a every employee, it is as 150 rupees, which is a $2. We are keeping it as that only for the objectives and as well as rewards and recognition. Whereas if the reviews is going to be added, which is our core ML and data science part, which is having a $5. That's what actually we kept it as, because that's my, sorry, per employee, per month, per employee per month. That's what actually we are doing on this one. So of course that we are going to sell it out only for the UAE and as well as US customers at the reviews first initially part on this one. But OKRs we are just going to be launched out only for the India customers for all the platform to be tested. So we want to have a more data to be there in our platform. Then it works as a mission science on this one. That's how we will work. Of course, we have started on Q4 21. That's where actually our idea is started. We have registered our company in February 11th, and now we are at MVP stage. Now we are about to launch by next week our first version of the product. Then after that, we will be rolling out to 2-3 customers. We'll try. Then after that, we are going to come up with that review part, and as well as rewards recognition will be added. That's how we are going to come up. And coming back to that, we were already funded at the ideation stage itself by Pontech. Initially, even we don't have a wireframe itself at that moment. The concept itself has been sold. So initially, we have just been supported by STPI on this, and we have already presented this pitch at the Tech HR conference, at the Asian Big Tech HR conference, and they have featured as next going to be biggest HR and work tech startup is going to be happen. Most potential is there. That's how we have just come up with that. Of course, we have participated in AHub also, AHub also, couple of competitions. So that's all from my side. So if anyone is having any questions, I'm happy to answer. No, we are registered in Bangalore, currently our office, but okay. NSRCL, we are already a part of pre-incubation. We are at NSRCL. We are as a Launchpad 21 program. We are, and as well as we are part of Wadhwani's Lift Off program also. We have selected both programs. NSRCL's Launchpad is already completed for us. And now we are into Velocity program. We have selected for Velocity program for their growth stage startups to become up on that. And this one, Lift Off program also same thing. Wadhwani Activate program we have already completed, and they promoted us to Lift Off program also. So that's how we are into that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, please. Okay. Yeah.
So I'll start with
Hmm.
so behavioral science research says that quality of your personal life is directly proportional to productivity and right? So say the quality of sleep. Some companies are tracking quality of sleep. They included that in their exam process. So those parameters are they in your product?
Okay. Thanks. Thanks. See, basically, this is the platform what we are looking into that. Okay. So employee well-being, what you said is comes under employee well-being, basically. This is what actually now it's the latest after post-pandemic, it's been coming up on this one, where it requires the 8 hours sleep is mandatory for every employee to come up into the next day work. That's how it has been started. See, basically, we are just making as a platform on this one. Okay. Our platform is going to be given to them as a put their goal as a employee well-being should be there. Employee has to be sleep at least, like employee has to be so and so BMI index needs to be maintained all the years. Some jobs might be required on this one. So that they have to put their goal in our platform, that can be done. As a platform, what we are going to tell them, our prediction model, what we are going to do is we are just going to as a product roadmap, as a part of product roadmap, what we are doing is we are doing as a SWOT analysis. Okay. What we are giving as a SWOT analysis, that means employee SWOT analysis. What we are doing? Yeah, employee SWOT analysis. What is employee SWOT analysis is nothing but see, basically we already said there is a open-ended questions we will be asking to the employee, right? Where employee tells the answers and that attributes our data science model will give that whether it's a more positive or more negative will come out. Let's assume that a question will be asked to the employee. He gives answer as a positive. Okay. Manager is said negative. Peers are saying average. 5 peers, if you can ask, 5 peers said average is also negative. That means it is a blind spot of the weakness where employees unknown weakness. That means employee feels that I am good at communication, but everybody is saying that you are not good at communication, right? That comes under weak area. That's how we are going to categorize. Same thing. If employee says I am negative about my communication, whereas manager says positive, peers are saying that means it's your blind spot of your strength, hidden strength of yours. That's how we are categorized to spots in strengths. Whereas the same thing, where the various parameters we will be asking that point. Like, when is the employee's joining date? When is the last promotion date? When is the last incrementation salary date? When is his line manager's last promotion date? Why? Because we will go into the dig into the details. If manager is not promoted, then how he will be promoted? So we will be categorizing all these parameters. We will be analyzing with our model. We will say that he can be a potential lever, or he can stay sometime, or where it requires a coach that will comes under threats and opportunities. That's how we are going to come up. For well-being, also one of the factor where we are considering on this one, how many times he applied a sick leave. That is also one of the factor where we will be considering, and we will check it out on this one. So these are the parameters how we will be checking to come out into the AI model, which is giving as a SWOT analysis, which is have a predictive analysis, which we want to do it only after maybe mid of next year. We want to do that. So once we have a data, then with our existing customers, we already said whomever the customers which we are rolling out, we already told them we are going to give the review product, whomever it is now at this moment, this year sign up the order, they will be getting as a review product next year as a free. So that's how we are just going to be projecting ourselves on this one. So it's a pre-launching part, and we will be conducting a bigger event for the all HR tech in terms of maybe we are looking for the location, whether it could be a Vizag or Bangalore. So we are just going to start one HR tech event only specifically for the HR specific. So hopefully we will be launching on this one as a presenting that one. So any other questions?
How much is the market for the
Total market size for the global talent management market size as of now is a $7.5 billion at this moment, and expected by 2027 it is at $17 billion with the 12.1 CAGR. And our SOM, where we have taken out only for the Oracle and SAP, which is the leading player, where they have taken as that one. Out of 10%, even if I am taking on this one, which comes under as approximately 1 billion as a SAM part. And if I'm taking as a SOM part, if I'm just service obtainable market, if I'm taking on this out of that, which is coming up as 100 million, only if I'm considering US, UAE, and as well as India markets. These are the three markets. If I can target for this part, it will work, because the similar sign of line where there is a something called as a people box, okay, which is a last year California based one of the startup where they have done it. It was approximately, they have just made it as a revenue of $20 million in a year. Out of that, only for the OKR platform. That means only objectives and key results. Even they don't have a review part. So we are doing with the reviews and rewards part, which is close to that one, and we are hoping that one it will come up much more values on this one. And if it everything works, and if it is everything executes fine, and I hope sky is the limit. That's what actually we are thinking of this scale.
Any competitors around for you in India?
Sorry.
Any competitors for you?
In India, PeopleBox is, for example, PeopleBox and Mesh.ai, they are India-based companies only, where California guys have just already picked up them, and they put their main offices into California on this one. India, these are the two companies from India only. These two are the one. And there is something called as the Infido, which is called as Amber. That is one of the competitor. And even in fact, when I was in MR, and I have given the first opportunity for them, they are also employee engagement as a chatbot only. They will not do anything on this one, whether the chatbot, and they will tell you based on the answers whether the employee stays or not, less happy or not happy. That's what actually they will say. There is another company called as a Lena.ai, which is also AI based chatbot, and this is also a chatbot. And but this chatbot will tell you like at the time of joining, what is your happiness on this one? Those kind of things, onboarding time on this one. More or less, the model is common, but they never worked on performance reviews part. They didn't come up on that. In Fido, recently they are trying to come up on this one. Now we need to see what is the results on that.
I have some discussion point. I think I've got.
That's it.
So, not really a question, but I think I have some discussion points on the tech front. With the behavioral science and ML crossover that's happening, the synergy that's happening. For ML, we would need a good set of data points to be able to judge and bring out any outcome. But if we take an average project manager has like a team of 15 to 20 on average, and reviews happen once every quarter,
Correct.
let's see. So you'll have like 15 data points on each individual. Are they enough to be able to judge on an individual's various personal traits, be it communication or character? That's something I'm
Very good question. So the same thing. See, it's a 15 data points from the manager perspective. Same thing. I will ask the same questions to peers also. Okay. Same question will be asked to peers, which is peers can be 3 number or it could be a 5 numbers. 5 multiplied with the 15. Same questions will be asked to the various 5 people. Okay. So these 5 set and manager set 6 data points where I will be getting as a from one employee in a 6 dimensions I will get it. Okay. At the initial stage, answer is yes, it is a less data for that. Over the period of time where the reviews is happening quarter to quarter, it will go and mature the interview. That's the reason we are not even rolling out the reviews at this moment. We are rolling out only for the objectives and key results because we want to have a more data points over here. From there onwards, it will be easy for me to compare the data. See, for example, as an employee, you might be getting as a rating of 4. Company's average rating is, if I take it out as a 3, so I can easily compare with that analysis. Otherwise, I can't do that with the much data points. As you rightly said, yes, I can't do that much data points. There is nothing is there. If you don't have a data, there is no ML. There is no behavior science, right? So with the small set of data, you can't do that one. So that's the reason reviews we have postponed to quarter 2. That's the reason. So
great stuff you're building here.
yeah, thank you.
From what I understand is that basically you have a set of questions, mostly some algorithm based or the machine learning based, and you're taking concepts of it and making some class kind of thing, right?
Correct.
I just want to know, are you sure you can judge a person just based on question, the kind of answer he gives?
Yeah. See, basically what will happen is first quarter people don't know and they will give a genuine answers. Quarter 2 onwards, they know that what is the pattern is coming up and people will start giving what is the answer I am supposed to give it to that one and algorithm they know that one, right? That's how it is going to be works. So what will happen? Yes, it is genuinity part. As of now, the model part, what we are giving as a sentences perspective, regular. Let's take an example. If I'm doing a sentiment analysis, if I'm running out of that, and the model accuracy approximately 92% at this moment. With the various Twitter data, feed data we have tried out with that 92% accuracy on this one. Okay. Of course, you will never get 100% accuracy on this one. Data will be coming up over the period of time. The model will be matured on this one. That's how it will work it out on this one. Any data science models, it will never be 100%. It starts with 72% to 92%. That's how it will work. So it will always lies on that one. Judging a person, yes, definitely it is not only the parameter, the major parameter which will be coming up into the OKR part. When it is coming into the performance bonus rewards, that's the reason we kept it as a goals as a first set of rolling out. Let's take an example. Your target is 5 million. You are supposed to generate a revenue. If you generate a 3 million, that means you have generated only 60% of objective. It's very clear, right? For me, okay, you have achieved only 60%. So based on that only we will provide a reward points to you. Okay, so that's the reason we are coming up. Judging a person, we are not judging a person at this moment. That's the reason, because the model has to be matured on this one. Once we are confident and we will experiment with the various companies, once it is crosses to more than 92%, then we will roll it. Until that point, it will not work. 92% is the accuracy. That's it. Maximum to maximum, with my understanding, Oracle model itself is coming up 95%. That's it.
So why we are asking is because whenever there are two type of employees. Okay, the one who really want to work in the company, and one who want to leave the company. So one who wants to work in the company will give a good review.
Correct.
Generally.
Yeah.
And when you want to leave the company, it will be like, what will happen, right?
Correct.
So the difference is how we are going to judge it. Yeah.
Judging is that is the one. Whomever it is giving a bad review, that means he is a potential lever where they need to work it out. I'm not judging on this one. I'm highlighting the case to HR where it requires a counsel to this employee. Hey, he might be just leave us on this one early. So just be careful. Take care of this
But in
employee.
this case, generally, I mean, no employee will try to give a negative review. No?
That's the reason we are giving asking questions as an anonymous part. We are not asking right by showing their name.
Generally, if you just consider this event per se, if Alok will come and ask me, I say very good.
Yeah, yeah. If he asks directly to one on one, everybody says very good.
I say, no, don't do that. So generally, it all depends upon the. I mean, generally, I mean to be frank, the employees are also very smart.
Correct.
So generally, generally don't give a negative review most of the time, unless if he has very grudge about that particular manager. That's a different case. So I don't know how in that case it will different from what you have
No,
already doing.
it is not the case because when I see the reviews, because we have run the surveys, if I mark it as an employee name to be visible, everybody will give you the very good reviews. The moment I say that you are anonymous, then people will started giving some sort of, genuinity will come up. At least some sort of genuinity. Yes, 100%. Nobody will not give
You
it.
yourself are saying this employee can leave, right?
Yeah,
In that case, that immediately you are saying you are going to give the data to the company, no?
employee can leave. That's what we are highlighting to HR. So HR needs to work it out, right?
Hardly the
I think
it's
going
still
on,
coming
but
around the
Sona,
same
we need
topic.
to move to the next one.
So most of the time when we do this as service, right? So question, answer. So any data model. So if we talk about an employee, like if it is an employee-centered organization, how do we make it so subcontextual that the interactions that the employee does, that somehow forms a feedback loop into the system that is handling. So unless we do so we get surveys every 3 months or 6 months or so saying that, see, for our organization we do care form. So they call it as a care form. So we feel like what we did and in some way it goes into the OKR loops and all that. Now only once in 3 months that is done and we know that is being asked for a specific purpose and managers to observers also know that from time to time it's go to a reviewer and all of
Correct.
that. And on the other side, there are tools like this that are basically analyzing and saying this is a flight risk or this is whatever it is, right? But uh, if you observe the most successful systems, I mean, I'm not sure if I'm making a suggestion here, but I think it becomes an input in some way. And what I'm trying to say is, if we gather data in a subcontextual way in the employee's natural environment of however they're working, their interactions with their colleagues and all of that. And here, let's say, he's my colleague, right? And if I know that it's going to negatively impact him if I say something, and even though I know it is anonymous, I might not want to do it, right?
Mhm.
If it is negative, if it is positive, like mostly people say, and you spoke about the Middle East organizations. In Middle East, people don't usually even think about appreciation. So their appreciation is a big thing. In
Correct.
India, appreciation might not be much of a big thing. In US and Europe kind of organizations, appreciation is like a day-to-day thing.
Correct.
Like if somebody does something, even if it is such a small magnitude, they'll say good job and all that. So I mean, all I'm trying to say is, how do you bring the natural abstract out of all of this without the participator feeling like they are filling a survey or question and answer based this thing, which they know this is going to be used in some way.
Yeah, yeah. Sure. See, to answer that question, we are thinking as a more advanced feature where we are thinking about it, rather than to have it as a conversation, typing and answers on this one, to just have it as a phone call. Okay, it's an automatic voice part. A phone call will be ringed to you, and how is his performance? Not like that as a direct question. It will be asked about a set of framed questions. It will be what is your relationship with him? How is your so those kind of a questions will be asked as a phone call kind of a thing. Whatever the answers you are coming up, that will be converted into text, and that's how we are going to tell you that. Rather than typing something, then you will start thinking. When you are talking to that, it's not thinking too much on that, right? So some sort of things will be, of course, 100% natural. No tool in the world it cannot do that, right? You know that. So this is what actually we are thinking as a one of the feature which we are putting in our roadmap on that one. As a phone call, rather than typing as a chat bot on that one. That's the one thing.
So we have to. Thanks, Anil. I had one question. Maybe I'll ask a question. Okay. Thanks a lot. Can we have the Wiki Book team for the book review? And before that, uh,
Now Joe, my student.
yeah, you can.
Yes, right. Among me and Janish. So these are the two main factors that can be program. And one is just having an idea of being able to pitch it maybe the next time. And also his father is already running a startup business. So can you guys speak on that? Good evening, everyone. This is Vardeshna. I'm doing my BBA first year in Andhra University of Computer Science. So currently, I'm working on a startup project. It is called Metaverse. It is a mode of learning, and me and my father are in. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so me and my father are working on the idea, and I'm very enthusiastic about education and agriculture. So I'm happy to be here, and I'll be attending. I look forward to attending every Saturday here. Thank you. Thank you. Education and agriculture. Yes, sir. So you got an award. Speak about awards what you have received so far, so that gives a better idea for the yes, understanding. So I've done agriculture research for 2 years. So I've uh, on organic farming, zero budget natural farming, and I won a national award, Child Scientist Award, and my research got selected to national level in 25th National Level Children's Science Congress, and I won Eco Friend Award. I'm an environmental activist. I work with Green Environmental Service Society here in Visakhapatnam. So yeah, that's about me. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Ganeshwar. I'm a student in Andhra University School of International Business, and I make music. I produce music since 3 years, and also do a lot of digital marketing. I've done 40-hour course on Google, which teaches for you free of cost on all the SEO and digital marketing. I've done few courses on Udemy, Coursera, and so I'm more into digital marketing. That's about it. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah. So you practice your you speak about the internship. No, no, your startup. That's yes, sir. So my dad has a startup on water plant. So he sells, alkaline water. So recent study has, I mean, Alkaline has more benefits than RO, so he's trying to, educate more people and trying to buy them more into alkaline than RO. So his office is in Vizag at the moment. Will be, expanded to a large part of in Andhra Pradesh and then to the other states in India. That's about it. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, so good evening, everyone, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Rishita, and I'm an inspirer at Pick a Book. So I hope a lot of every one of you know what Pick a Book is. We are in a journey to inspire people to read, inculcate the habit of reading. And today I'm going to be presenting a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. But before I dive into the topic, I want to thank Ahab and Pick a Book for giving me this opportunity and all of you joining here today. And to those who are making these Saturdays happen. So this is a very great initiative and I'm very honored to be here. So thank you so much. So let's dive right into the topic. So before that, let me ask you one question. How many of y'all think personal life affects our professional life? How many of you all agree with me? Yeah, okay. So what the book I'm going to be presenting today will resonate a lot with our personal life, and also how we can build up our businesses using these tips the author has given to us. So who is the author actually? So the man behind the book is James Clear. He is a writer, entrepreneur, behavior science expert, and a speaker who is focused on habits, decision making, and continuous improvements. And also, he is the author of the our book Atomic Habits. So, what the author does is he doesn't merely take a report and put it on his book and just publish it. He takes the report, he researches about it, he experiments them on himself, and then he published it in his book and his daily newsletters. And that's how Atomic Habits has become the bestseller in the New York Times. So, and at last, his talks become one part storytelling, one part of his academic research, and then it becomes into this colorful blend of his inspirational stories. So, the contents of the book are the introduction, the fundamentals, the first law, second law, the third law, fourth law, and the advanced tactics, and also the conclusion. So coming to the name, the atomic habits. So why the name atomic habits? You all must be wondering, because I wondered why the name atomic habits. So what is habits? Can anyone from the crowd? What is habits? Anyone? Yeah, having a routine and yes, yes, very good. And yes, so habits are a repetitive action we do on daily basis, which are conscious or unconsciously we do it daily. Like we wake up in the morning, and then the first thing we do by waking up in the morning, I pick up my phone. Just when I wake up in the morning, I take my phone. And right, so we have a phone here. We'll be working, and then our screen lights up with a notification. What do we immediately do? We reach, we grab the phone. We have to know what is inside. Who has texted me? Nobody important, not like Mukesh Ambani is gonna text me like, okay, you got 100 crore deal, come on. No. But we have to just take the phone and look at it. It's a very unconscious habit we have built up over the years. So that is what habits is. And what is an atom? Yes. According to me, atom is a smallest irreducible particle which consists of neutron, proton, electron, nucleus, and all. So why did the author take something from physics and something from our daily lives and put it in the title? Why? So what the author says is, as the atoms, they make up molecules. Molecules in turn, they make up particles. So our laptop is made up of atoms. The air we breathe made up of atoms. So the very small, tiny, very irreducible thing, or actually is making up this whole world. And what the author is trying to say is, a very small habit which may seem very small to us, like no value to it. But then in a long run, it will actually help us build our lives in a better way and run successful businesses. That is why the name Atomic Habits has come to the title. So the author begins with a story. So on the final day of his sophomore year in high school, uh, the children were playing baseball on the field, and unfortunately, our author was there. So suddenly, in the air, he saw a baseball bat flying through the sky, just flying through the sky, and hit him in the face, unfortunately. And then he suffered a broken nose, multiple skull fractures, and two shattered eye sockets. And it took him months to recover from the injuries. And then after 2 years, he began college at Denison University. And then in his year, he started building good habits. Usually, kids in abroad, US, in freshman year of college, what they do is, even in India, I know, what they do is they usually stay up late. They don't care about the tidiness of their room. They stay up late. They go out to parties. They drink at the parties. They don't wake up early in the morning. They don't care about all these tiny things. But then the author, he started building the very small habits which started affecting his life. And after 6 years, he had been hit with the baseball bat. He was selected as the top male athlete at Denison University and named the ESPN Academic All America team, an honor given to just 33 players across the world. So, how did our author achieve something so big in the span of 6 years, right after he had this very major accident? The author gives all the credit to the habits, very small habits he's been building throughout the years. So, in 2012, he began publishing articles at jamesclear.com. 2014, over 100,000 subscribers. 2015, 200,000 subscribers. And a book deal with Penguin Random House, which we are discussing about now. 2016, his articles began to appear in major publications. Coaches from NFL, NBA, they started reading his newsletters, his articles, and they started telling the team players to actually adapt these habits. And that's how they also followed the journey. And he launched in 2017 the Habits Academy. And 2018, million visits per month to jamesclear.com and 500,000 subscribers to his weekly email newsletter. So in just mere span of 6 years, all of the credit goes to his mere habit building. So as people, we want a very rapid success, right? Very immediate success. We need immediate success. But then all these habits, they don't give us immediate success. Compound. They compound into something much bigger. And then in one blast, they give us this huge success, which we can't wait for that kind of a success. So for that, we need patience, we need persistence, we need a consistency in maintaining the habits, and that's how we'll reach the goal. So that's what the author says. So to build the habits, there is a theory called habit loop set by the author. So the habit loop has 4 steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. So every habit to be built, it has to follow these 4 steps. So the first one is cue. So if they were giving me the fruity bottle, I saw the fruity bottle. Now I was craving the sweetness of the fruity bottle. Then it was very easy for me to open it. I put my straw in the fruity bottle and I drank it. It was satisfying. That's my reward. And it was satisfying. I will do it again. That's how the habit has been formed for me. So the 4 steps usually make up the habit. So the author says the cue and craving are the problem. You see something, you crave it, and then you have to reach for the reward. That's your response. The reaching is your response, and the grabbing, the reward, it will satisfy you. So with this habit loop, how do we create a good habit, and how do we? So yeah, how to create a good habit first. So with these cue, craving, response, and reward, he created 4 laws. The first one is make it obvious. Make your cue obvious. If you want to go for a run, put your shoes like behind when you wake up, put it by your bed so that you look at the shoes and you want to go for a run. Okay, I'll put the shoes now, I'll put the workout clothes now, then I'll go for a run. That's how you have to make your habit obvious. And then if you want to drink let's say 3 liters water every day, you put your bottle everywhere you can see, on your desk, in your kitchen, by your desk table. That's how you will look at it, and then you'll remember, okay, I have to drink the water now. That's how you grab the water bottle, and then you'll quench your thirst. So make your cues obvious and attractive. Make it attractive. Nothing which is unattractive, we won't do it again. And with anything which is hard, we will not follow it. So make your response easy. If you have to like climb Mount Everest to do something, we can't do it. We won't actually climb a Mount Everest even if we are craving it so much. So that's how we have to build a habit and obviously make it satisfying. So yeah, the same goes for breaking a habit. We have to make the cue invisible, uh, craving unattractive, response difficult, and reward unsatisfying. So these can also be applied to the business point of view, which I'll be explaining at the end of the presentation. The first law, make it obvious. The author says Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. What does he mean by this? Anyone from the crowd? So until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Okay, okay, I'll say.
Blind spot to our weaknesses.
Sir?
Blind spot to our weaknesses.
Blind spot to our weaknesses. Okay. Yes, yes. Like very close. So yeah. So author has this story. There is this woman, she's a paramedic, and once she walks into this party and she looks at her father-in-law. She looks at her father-in-law and she says, "Father-in-law, you don't look well." And the father-in-law jokes, "I don't like the way you look either." And the daughter-in-law says, "No, I'm serious. You don't look okay. Come to the hospital. Let's go to the hospital." And then after a few hours, he's being operated for a major life-saving surgery. He had a blockage in his arteries, which is stopping from pumping the blood throughout his body, which made his face in a patterns of passage of the blood vessels. So it made his face in a way that she looked at his face and she got to know that there is something wrong with this man and he has to go to the hospital. That's how the paramedic knew that there is something wrong with this man health wise, right? And we can actually know that is very unconscious. She didn't do like a test on him. She didn't do an angiogram on him or anything to know that he had a blockage in his arteries. She just merely looked at him and then she got to know that there is something wrong with him. That's how unconsciously we build up our habits, and unconsciously we know that something is wrong, and we do it very unconsciously. So that is what we have to make unconscious conscious for the habit, and if we don't, you will call it fate. That's what the author is trying to say. So we to make the habits obvious, there is a technique called point calling or habit scorecard. So the point calling, this the Japanese use it in their railway system. So while they're on the railway, the driver, he looks at the speedometer and he says, "Okay, I'm at this speed." He points at the speedometer and he says, "I'm at this speed." And the employers outside the train, they walk around the railing and they say, "Okay, all clear." That's how they point and they call, and they use their hands, their ears, their eyes, their mouth to point and call, so they'll remember. They'll make it conscious. They'll make the unconscious conscious, and they'll remember that everything is okay, everything is fine. Triggering our bad habits, and what is triggering good habits in us? So there is this formula called habit stacking. So I usually use this formula a lot. So what habit stacking actually is, to your current habit, add a new habit. So you wake up in the morning and then you grab for a glass of water. So after I grab for a glass of water, I will meditate for 1 minute. So grabbing a glass of water is already your habit, but meditating for 1 minute is not. So you stack the already existing habit to the new habit. Stack the new habit on it, and that's what habit stacking is. So you'll follow the current habit with a new habit, and you'll usually get there, develop that new habit. So that is what make it the first law is, and make use of good habits obvious, and to break the bad habits we have to make them invisible. And the second law, to make it attractive. So if I go home now and I wash the utensils, my mom will praise me, and it is attractive to me. If my mom praising me is attractive to me, and then tomorrow I'll go again. I'll go again and I'll wash the utensils again. Then that's how I'll get the habit again to, okay, wash the utensils every day. It might be manipulation from my mom's side, but then it is attractive, and then I'll do it again. So yeah, the third law, make it easy. As I said, we can't climb Mount Everest to grab something. Some people have the habit of smoking, and you don't get cigarettes anywhere here. You only get cigarettes in Mount Everest. Will you climb Mount Everest to smoke the cigarette? We don't. Unless and until you're some person who is very anxious to smoke, you won't climb the Mount Everest to smoke the cigarette, right? So we have to, so this is very hypothetical, but then what I'm trying to say is, what the author is trying to say is, we have to make them very difficult for us to make that habit and make it satisfying at last. Yes. So, as I've said earlier, what is immediately rewarded is repeated. If we know that the stove is going to burn us, if the fire is going to burn us, we are not going to touch it again. We will not touch the fire if I know that it is going to burn me. So, when the immediately the reward is repeated, the I will obviously do it again. So, for a habit to happen, all of these four things they have to be in a equal manner. For a craving to happen, I need the cue. For a response to happen, I need the craving. So all of these have to be there. And if I want to repeat the whole thing, the reward has to be satisfying. And if it is unsatisfying, I will obviously not repeat it again. So that is what the author is trying to say. And in the end, is there a conclusion for this secret to last? Yes. The author says yes. And it is to never stop making improvements, be persistent while creating your habits. So they, as I said, the small habits, they don't add up. It's not like putting a brick and building up a very small thing. No, they compound. They compound into this very powerful impact. And one day it will give you, you won't even realize the thing, the habits, the way they're helping you. One day you will get to know, okay, the power of this. Then that's the power of atomic habits. So he says tiny changes, remarkable results. So, how to apply these ideas to business? There is a bonus chapter at the end of the book. It is in this website called atomichabbits.com/business. So, in there, these habits, how they will help in the business. I'm an aspiring entrepreneur. Okay, so in my personal life, this book has helped me, is helping me right now, and I'm sure it will help me in the future too. And when someday, one day, when I open my own business, like all of you here, when I open my own business, I'm sure I will apply this. I will apply to my business, to my employees, and I'm sure I will gain that success. And I'm sure of it. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And with every thank you, let us all build good habits. Thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm open to feedback and any questions. Thank you.
But you are convinced of the book speaks a lot. Can you speak?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks, Rishita. It is a great book for people, but I haven't read it yet. Maybe finally I will start coming to it because then all the list, I've seen where people suggest books for this book that recommended list. Yeah, it's a Fisher. Yeah. So now can we have Ujjwal here to talk about his startup journey? Interview buddy. Ujjwal has been face I've been seeing for quite some time now, but I haven't. I myself don't really know his startup journey. I'm happy to hear from him.
So, so good evening, everyone. I'm Ujjwal, founder of Interview Buddy. So I'll try to keep my presentation real and unfiltered. So I started Interview Buddy right after my graduation. So what we do with Interview Buddy is we offer online mock interviews with industry experts. So if you have got an upcoming job interview or an internship interview, you come to us. I mean, just by hearing the word interview, there's a lot of stress and anxiety surrounding it, right? So let's say you're a student. As a student, you might never have faced any interview or given any interview. So it's an uncharted territory. You don't know what to expect, how to prepare, how to respond to out of the blue questions and all. So
you would want some practice, right? So that's what we do. So we offer online mock interviews. So we give you the practice to help you prepare for your upcoming job interview or any sort of interview. So the idea of interview buddy popped up into my mind when I was in my final year of college. So I studied in the same university. I studied at the North Campus College of Engineering, Mechanical Engineering. So I'm not a IT guy. So hardcore engineering guy. So at the final year, I mean, at the end of our study or final year, we have our campus placements, right? So we had a huge company that came to the campus. So I was one of the candidates giving the interview. So interestingly, what happened is the interviewer who was interviewing me, he was so impressed with my profile that he made me sit beside him and he interviewed three of my batchmates. So that was my first instance seeing an interview, not my interview, but seeing my batchmates interview. So I got to know how people give their interviews or the mistakes that they make. So it was kind of a shocker to me. I was of the opinion that because we are studying at AU, all my batchmates are toppers. So these guys would be the first ones to get all the jobs. Unfortunately, they some of them did not get the job. But like I said, it was an eye opener where I realized facing the interview is a nightmare for majority of the population. So that was my first instance to noticing this problem. I had this idea at the back of my mind. I wanted to do something about it, but I did not do anything about it right away. Uh, I wanted to pursue my master's in mechanical engineering again. So I went to Germany to pursue my master's. But after my first semester, what I noticed was we had our internship drive in the university. I mean, not a regular drive as happens in India, but the process is slightly different. But I was one of the first few students to get selected in the internship. So what I realized was facing interviews is a nightmare, not just for the Indian population, but it's for any student across the globe. So I took a break from my studies, came back here, and started working on interview work. So no Indian parent would want their kid to you know stop their masters abroad, come back and do something on their own here, right? So the first challenge was convincing my parents. So convincing my father was a huge challenge. So just to paint a picture. So my father, you can say, he's the strictest of the strict. So even if he walks into his room, I'm sure half of you would be uh, what do you say, you- as you can see, I'm out of words describing my father. So that's how strict he is. So yeah, so that was the first challenge. So I started working on interview buddy. Like I said, I'm not from IT background, right? But from my school, when I was in school, college, I used to do a lot of blogging. So I was more interested in blogging and design and all. So I used to have my own blogs. I used to write and all, and I used to earn from my blogs. So as a student earning 2,000, 3,000 rupees per month, so it was a big deal for me. Just sitting on your computer doing stuff and you're getting paid for it, right? So while I mean, in this process of blogging, I learned coding and SEO and graphic design and stuff. So you can say, I mean, it was more like a hobby, but this experience actually helped me when I was starting my startup. So, how you would say, as part of building my blogs and all, I got exposed to coding, right? So, I could I mean, I'm not a full-fledged coder and all, but I could understand the flow or structure of coding, how things are working or not. Then, most importantly, SEO. So, SEO, search engine optimization. I used to optimize my blogs because more visitors come to my blog. If they read it, click on the ads and all, I get paid. So, let's keep it aside. I mean, this experience of mine. So, I started working, right? So, what we wanted to build was a video interviewing platform, not just a service, but we have a platform where we conduct the mock interviews. So to build this platform, I wanted a technical team, right? Because I cannot do it myself. So what I thought was, let me hire some third-party guys who can do this for me. So I started looking around, and I got quotations from different vendors that were to the tune of 50 lakhs, 1 crore, and more. As a student, I cannot afford such costly services. So what I did was, I reached out to few IIT students uh, posing as some already working professional or some big shot, because otherwise those students won't give some importance, right? Just to grab their attention. So luckily, I got a couple of IITians to work for me as interns. So they built the platform and all. So compared to the quotations that I was getting, it was almost the project was completed at 1/100th of the cost or even lesser. So now we have the product, the platform is ready. But like I said, we offer mock interviews with industry experts, right? So we need to get industry experts onto the platform. Why would anyone be interested? And like I said, I started right after college. So I do not have a great personality, or just by looking at my credentials, people would be interested to come and offer their services on our platform or work with me, right? So it was a challenge. So I'm not a great speaker and all, but I think as part of my startup journey, I started interacting with people and trying to capture their attention and all. And we got few industry experts on the platform. So we have the platform, we have the experts and all, but now we need to get the clients or users, without which you do not have a business, right? So before all this, we wanted to come up with a pricing strategy, right? How will we price our service or platform or product? So I visited several colleges across Vizag and nearby places. So it was a physical survey that I've conducted, where I prepared a questionnaire, handed it out to all the students. They shared their responses and all. And I mean, it was not a what do you say, a direct or a I mean, the survey is not designed in such a way that the responses that we expect are received. So we designed it in such a way that it's. I hope you got my point. So, as per the survey, the students or the participants in the survey, they were willing to pay 2,000 rupees for our service. But we came up with a pricing strategy that is much. I mean, we were charging much lesser than what the survey shows us. So our assumption was college students are our target audience. They would be the ones who would be interested in opting for our service and paying for our service. And like I said, coming back to our platform, it was a video interviewing platform that we have built. So we thought we'll be able to finish it in 3 months, but it took us 1 year to get the platform working. There were a lot of bugs and all. So now we had all the issues fixed, or the mentors on the platform, everything. Now we have went live. So it was the alpha version that we have launched sometime in mid of 2017. So the first ever user or customer that we have got on our platform was a candidate with 25 plus years of experience. He was applying for the role of a vice president at Barclays in UK. So we identified an interviewer and we have conducted an interview for him. After this, we started noticing all the users that we get on the platform are experienced folks or job changers who are going into who are switching jobs or getting into much bigger job roles. So it was kind of a small shocker to us, because we assumed only college students would be interested, and as it turns out, Indian students, they do not want to pay anything from their pockets. They assume everything is free. So we quickly pivoted and we introduced or added a new feature on our platform where it caters to experienced folks. So this was going on. Uh, Largely, all the users or all the clients that we have on board are organic. So we haven't spent any money on marketing. At least 90-95% of all our users are organic. So what we have focused on right from the beginning was offering quality service to each of our users on the platform, because interviewing as a service is not repeatable, right? So let us say you are a candidate and you're taking up an interview, and if you get a job, you won't be a repeat customer for us. It's not that you would be coming back next month and taking another interview with us. So we made sure that we offer world-class interviewing experience to every candidate every time. So that has been our motto, and that is our motto. But the interesting aspect of our businesses, or what happened was, so the student or the candidate who took mock interview got a job. He referred several of his friends or colleagues. And all. So largely word of mouth has worked and is working for our business. So yeah, word of mouth, one aspect. The other aspect is, so we, like I said, we started mid of 2017. We had several issues and all we fixed. So from beginning of 2018, our platform has been working fine and all. And that's when, I mean, that's from yeah, from 2018. Yeah, we've been getting regular inflow of users and all. So it's been 4 years now, right? So what we have seen is now students who or candidates who have taken our mock interviews 1 year, 2 years before, they come back now and take mock interviews again because they're changing jobs or getting into bigger roles. So that is kind of a repeat business for us. So, like I said, we've been focusing on our quality of the service rather than anything else. There are several startups that grow at breakneck speed without getting their foundation or basics right. But I would say we are one of the few startups who got our basics right, the foundation strong, and we have become a profitable business startup in the last 2 years. So that is one of our achievements. So coming back to the journey of my startup. So when we look at any startup news or funding and all, it's always we look at, as an outsider, we look at the growth of the company. So it has been exponential growth over the years, months, whatever. But as a founder or someone from as an insider, the journey is never smooth or always going up. On a daily basis, everything is breaking, falling apart. Nothing is working fine. There's a lot of stress and anxiety. Uh, you don't get proper sleep. Probably you can make out from my face. And yeah, so everything is not smooth like it's projected in the news and all. Yeah, but like I said, we have turned profitable. And like I said, we get our users through word of mouth. Another aspect, if you go back to my school experience, I said I was doing blogging and SEO, right? So ours is an SEO first website. So if you search for mock interviews or interview practice, any of those keywords online, ours would be in one of the it would be in the top 3 or 4 or 5 results on the Google search page. So that's helping us get the users, clients, and all. So we have started with mock interviews now. We've been doing good. Um, Another aspect of our business is we cater to corporates. So once we have launched our platform, we've been getting a lot of inbound requests from potential clients where they ask if they can use our platform for their internal recruitment or hiring. So we've been getting these requests for quite some time, and a couple of years ago, we started working or building our white label video interviewing platform. So white label So let us say Andhra University is our client. The entire platform, everything is white label to match Andhra University's. I mean, it'll have the Andhra University's logo, the styling and all. Not much styling, but general white labeling, where the objective is for the end user to get a unique or a seamless experience using the platform. So it doesn't seem like someone else has sent out the interview invite, or we are using some other platform to take the interview. It's kind of a unified flow for the end user. So again, this aspect of our business has been inbound. It has been completely organic. And another aspect of our business, after we have launched our platform, there are companies that started reaching out to us asking for screening interviews. So we already have a network of interviewers on our platform. We do these mock interviews. So companies get candidates onto their platform. I mean, applying for them, right? So they want us to do the screening interviews for them, because for companies having to spend their employees' time and what do you say, their productive time on interviewing is not efficient. So again, there's a lot of interview bias when it comes to interviewing in the companies and all, and a lot of other aspects like uh, you know, if you are having to ask your employees, let's say let's say we are talking about campus interviews. So the employees of the company have to visit every campus across the country, spend time and money traveling, food, local stay expenses. So this is all taken care of by us, where it's completely online. So majority of all our businesses, or the business that we cater to, or the business that we have been getting, has been organic and inbound. And we also cater to universities, colleges, edtech platforms, and all. Largely, like I said, um, SEO has been working for us, and word of mouth has been working for us. But if you look at the journey that we have had, it has been 4 or 5 years now, and like I said, the growth is never smooth and easy. So when we started off the platform, there were a lot of naysayers. So I realized only one or two people would really believe in your idea or believe in you, and there will be thousands of people who will say it doesn't work or it will fail. Why I say this is, so in the beginning, I used to meet and visit a lot of people trying to acquire new business and all. People would simply ask me, how is your platform different from Skype? We are not building, I mean, we are not selling a video interviewing platform, right? And it's more than what Skype offers. It's essentially the service that we are offering, but people they just get fixated on when we say video interviewing. Okay, let's use Skype. So it was pre-pandemic, so Skype, now it's Zoom. So that's what people used to say. And some interesting pointers or issues people raised were, what if there is a power cut? How will you do the interview? As if we'll have power cut throughout the day, and it's going to stop our entire business. Of course, they might have a point there, but we can always reschedule the interview, right? But just assuming that there's going to be a power cut and there's going to be internet outage, if you don't take the action and stop your business, what's the point? Then the other issues that I faced are like, I used to visit these colleges, because colleges, there are huge number of students. It's a good business opportunity, right? So like I said, I started right after college. I used to look more like a student myself. So when I used to visit them, they used to say, you need to get a gate pass, or the professor is not available, you need to wait and all. If I got the appointment and all, when I visit the placement officer or the decision making committee, they used to say, you look like a student yourself. Uh, how will you manage this? So that's one point. Then they used to ask us, where are you based out of? Vishakhapatnam. So Vishakhapatnam is not a big place or happening place. So it's a tied to city. So there's a lot of stigma around it again. So why would someone take you seriously If you're looking like a student yourself, you're not from Bangalore or Mumbai or Delhi. So these are some of the issues that we face. Some of these deals came through, some didn't. But thanks to COVID, now everything is online. Uh, I think this stigma around where you are based out of, or if it's online, what happens, it has come down to a large extent. So we have started pre-COVID, so everything was online. Another issue was, why do you want to do it online? Have your interviewers come to our campus and do the interviews. So that was the user feedback we used to get. So assume, I mean, let's say that we have took that user feedback uh, true to its face value. Let's say we have stopped working on our startup idea. Things would not have been the same, right? So we have already spent so much time and money and effort into building it. Just because taking the user feedback at its face value, we would have lost all that effort and all. Um, at the end of the day, I mean, sometimes when I look back and see how we have performed or how long we have come, essentially there are two things that matter for any startup, because these days starting up is very easy. You have tons of ideas, you can start up overnight. But for you to succeed or stay in the business, perseverance and grit really matter. I think these are the two aspects that really matter. Others, I mean, if you stay long, other aspects will fall in line. I mean, it's not that you don't take any action and expect wonders to happen and things fall in line. You do these things, but like I said, it's getting your foundation and basics right, and your execution and perseverance that really matter. So I'll close up. So just to give you where we are currently and what we have achieved. So we have conducted close to 65,000 plus interviews across multiple experience levels, and to candidates across multiple geographies. So majority of our business comes from retail business comes from outside of India, because like I said, Indian students don't pay, but SEO works wonders for us, where we get international users ready to pay and coming onto the platform. And another question, or another what is I yeah, largely again user feedback. So people assume if something is online, it's catering to the IT world or the coding or programming stuff, right? So we cater to, or we offer interviews across multiple domains. So not just IT or programming coding interviews, but engineering, finance, banking, you name the domain, and we would most likely be offering it. So recently I've come up with this example just to turn down the naysayers. So recently we have conducted an interview for a candidate with 20 plus years of experience in the regenerative medicine domain. So candidate has 20 plus years of experience. Candidate is a professor at a university in Lebanon, and the domain is regenerative medicine. So most of us, we don't know what regenerative medicine is, right? And for catering to a candidate with 20 plus years of experience, the candidate has got enough experience, so why would the candidate again want an interview? So we cater to such niche or specialized interviews to candidates across the world, and we some of the unicorn startups like Simply Learn, Upgrade, Edureka, you name the edtech startup, they're most likely our client. So we cater to multiple edtech companies, again, universities and colleges and corporates. And before I wrap up, those of you in the last, so just listen to this. Uh, if you or anyone that you know have got an upcoming interview, visit our website interviewbuddy.in. Thank you.
Any questions as well? If you don't mind, what is your revenue
I'll tell you next year.
next year? Okay.
Like we have a student here who is presenting his idea about his startup. Like he wanted insights of our insights on his startup idea. Yeah. So I'm
Can you use this? Good afternoon to all the dignitaries and my fellow colleagues who are present over here. I am Hamza and he's my friend Vinay. So, before we start off, let me tell you something convincing. For example, you are having a bad day at your work, and all you need to do is get back to your home because home is a place where you have inner peace. Home is a place where you put your heart and soul and aesthetically design your decor and everything because that is the place where you spend most of your time. So, why don't we be part of your home? Introducing you the live decor which has life in it, Gallon Bay. So, we at Gallon Bay are basically arrange aquatic plants, cave wood, driftwork, and gravels, everything in an aquarium in a beautiful manner and present it to you at your home. Be it restaurants, be it houses, we are open to sell to the consumer and as well as to the businesses. So you must be like, what's the different angle you have? You're just selling an aquarium, but no, we are selling a theme-based aquarium. Theme-based aquarium, and this hobby is like the most famous hobby after photography. In theme-based aquarium, for example, you need an avatar theme-based aquarium. We are here. We can provide you an avatar theme-based aquarium, which adds an aesthetic to your living room. In India, people just love to flaunt the status, isn't it so? Because according to a recent stat, Indians spend 3x in their living room than their bedroom. So it's quite obvious that when guests come at your house, they obviously come to your living room. And Indians, as I said, they are very status driven. They would love to keep this decor at their home. So so that is what I want to say. And we provide three types of services. One is theme based, as I said. And after we install aquariums at your doorstep, we also provide you a maintenance model, which is like bi-weekly, monthly, and in the later phase, we are also trying to exhibit IoT. So in IoT, what we do is we kind of install sensors in the aquarium so that you can track it through your mobile application. Uh, we here the here we are cutting the human intervention down by introducing technology. Technology is obviously a great enabler to anyone in this space. Uh, that is going to be the later part, and you can also feed your fishes with the mobile application, and there will be like customized YouTube videos present to the customer so that he can watch the YouTube videos and just help his cape to have a healthy living and all. And we'll also have a website where you have blogs and how to maintain your fishes and how to keep the health of an aquatic plant and all. So this is one segment of the business, and the next segment I asked my friend Vinay to just present it over.
Okay. Thank you, Hamza, and good evening, everyone. Anyone knows about landscape designing? Yeah. content.
This makes the land beautiful by adding lively artifacts and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So the main purpose of landscape is it comes under landscape architecture. It's also one specialization under landscape architecture. So here what we do is a- actually aquascaping is mainly we'll work on, like we'll have, if you have any scenery, like we present that scenery in an aquarium. It's called as a nature aquarium. So there are various types of nature aquariums. So this is first one is the Avatar Aquarium, and the second one is the Dragon Rock Aquarium, and it's mainly very popular in China. And the first one is Dutch Aquarium, and second one is Iwagami Aquarium. Okay. So I'll get into the second segment of the Gallon Bay. So the second segment is the list of equipment which we use in Gallon Bay, like what materials which we use. So first I'll tell the list of equipments. The first one is aquariums, and the second one is rocks, and third one is driftwood, and CO2 cylinders, and fertilizers, nutrients, and that's it. So in aquarium comes under, like there are different types of aquariums, like marine aquariums, planted aquariums, and freshwater ornamental aquariums, and also pillar aquariums. Some other types of aquariums which we place inside the wall. And under the rocks, there are different types of rocks like lava rock, as I said, that dragon rock and hold rock. And there are various types of rocks like slate. And these rocks are very popular in China. And this distribution will be done by China through famous cities in our India like Mumbai, Calcutta, and Chennai and Bangalore. In India, these public like these productions will be done by these cities only to the various places. And under driftwood, there are so many types of woods like driftwood, mapani wood, bogwood, and that's it. So, and under aquatic plants, actually our main theme is to grow the aquatic plants. So there are various kinds of aquatic plants also like Java ferns, Java moss, and Alternaria, Kamamba, and so many types of plants are there. And also some we'll fix some CO2 cylinders also because for the plants, like there are small amount of CO2, a small amount will be there, and big cylinders also will be there. And next we will work on motors, filters, and small motors, like for fishes, like to produce oxygen. And there are various types of lights are there, and some filters are also there, internal filters and external filters, and recyclable filters, and some food will also be there. So many types of food will be there, and that productions will be done by through China only. China, Indonesia, and New Zealand, Australia, like so many countries. So this is from my side, and Hamza, please continue the next.
So, as every business has this competition players, and these are the three main players in India. One is Aqua Design Amino India, Aquascaping, and Ripple Nature. What makes us different from these players is we are like super bullish on our technology. We are almost trying to develop it as soon as possible, and there is no market in Andhra Pradesh regarding Aquascape. There is like 0% knowledge here. We are also in like in further moving on, we would also like to conduct aquascape workshops and all, because fishes are also play a huge part in Vastu for Indians, because fishes are always considered as good luck for money and career. So we can also because astrology market in India is like $1 billion, and there are so many players who make 41 lakhs revenue monthly. So we can also use that segment of our business and also market for clients. And so these are like stats
from 2010 and 11, like India had like 0.3% 1.26 million dollar USD, which is like 0.3%, which is like 1 decade ago. You can imagine the amount of growth rate it is having right now, because we have come far from that. Everyone love to arrange their houses. So that's all, and we are like open for queries. If you guys have any, please, we would love to answer them. Thank you.
You're just getting started, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since aquarium is kind of fragile and stuff like that, could you please explain on how you will handle the logistics? Since you said it is all being exported from Mumbai, Kolkata, Bangalore, Chennai,
Logistics.
how do you transport it to urban and rural areas?
Like we will have some workers in every city, so we can distribute all the items from one place to another place. So it will not won't be a problem.
Also, could you mention on what are the after purchase services? For example, something like fish dies or there is something like a pathogenic bacteria.
Yeah.
How would you offer the after purchase services? Do you have any subscription plan or something like that?
Actually, we are working on IoT, so we'll do it later.
What is the price point?
Price point actually depends on the feet of the aquarium you need and the type you need, because there have you ever gone to Novotel? Like there is a simple aquarium in the very start of the hotel, which is like very simple basic stuff, no aquascaping involved. It just costs like 10 lakh rupee. So the basic stuff is like 10 lakh rupee. We can make a masterpiece in that like revenue. I mean, in that of capital. So we are planning this first to B category and C category hotels. Later on, maybe after we establish ourselves, then we'll go to A category hotels, so that it would be good for us to like market and just showcase our work.
In your pitch, you said that people may be interested for the living rooms, right? And now you're saying about
Yeah, there is both aspects in this. Like you can get directly to the consumer, and we will also sell it to the businesses.
so do you think it is easier to capture a one A hotel and then market it? See,
Yeah.
hotels follow, you always follow a leader.
Yes. Yes.
Now, in the Sanskrit, they're saying that, people follow a good person, a big person,
Yes.
a rich person.
Yes.
So instead of concentrating on getting like 10 small hotels, you redesign Novotel, for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Novotel itself has three. You have
Yes.
one, you have three again.
Yes. It would be great for us, but there is like some sort of trust factor required, because Novotel.
First will come from your conviction.
Yes.
How convinced are you with your own idea?
Yes. Yes. So, we just thought of doing it to as there is a graph, and like A category hotels, B category hotels, then you have all the households and all. We thought we'll go in reverse order, so that we have that strong base, and we become a symbol of status. So. We are also in talks of talks with Green Park. We have asked few of them, and they were like very interested with us, Radisson Blue and all, because we thought there is a requirement for an aquarium and good ambience, which creates a positive vibe to any consumer. I mean, any customer. So we thought, yeah. So we were in talks with them, and we got a few connections, and we are we should have a next meeting soon with them.
There is a State Bank of India administrative office here.
Statement.
No, not here, but Bangalore is a big administrative office where AGM sits.
No, not really.
This road is there. Right?
Okay, sir.
Right after that island, you
Okay.
take left and you go at the end of it, there is a State Bank of India
Okay.
administrative.
Okay, sir.
So the AGM has a big aquarium.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. Surely, sir. We'll go and try to talk. Thank you for your suggestion. Uh, like he's an hobbyist from ninth class. He has 6+ years of experience, and he has like 2 to 3 prototypes at his home. So we will show that in our catalog. Sort of try matching, connecting dots. Yeah. We will integrate it through our like mobile app and maybe with Google Assistant so that a voice command does the feeding for the fish and aquarium part. So yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.